ICE raids a California weed farm. Shots are fired, death ensues, and a big problem comes to light. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. On Thursday, ICE conducted massive military-style raids on 2 marijuana farms in California, and things got heavy. More than 500 protesters were quickly mobilized to block federal authorities, and they were met by agents kitted out in tactical gear, who fired unknown smoke canisters into the crowd, probably tear gas, along with grass-colored gas. How appropriate. They even dispatched a Black Hawk helicopter to the scene. Amid the chaos, one worker, Jaime Garcia, fell 30 feet after climbing to the roof of a greenhouse, later dying from his injuries, which some media outlets are calling the first confirmed death during a Trump ICE raid. Meanwhile, protesters clashed with immigration authorities, hurling debris at ICE vehicles, prompting President Trump to use Truth Social to give total authorization for ICE to protect itself. We've officially entered the age of governance by social media, like this episode for tax rebates. One protester even appeared to draw a pistol and fire it at federal agents. The FBI has issued a $50,000 reward for information leading to the suspect's conviction. Whoa, $50,000! With that kind of money, you could buy all the DLC for Star Citizen. Many were none too pleased with the situation, like California Representative Jimmy Gomez, who said this was an attack on the farm workers who feed America. The White House hit back, saying, "That ain't produce, Holmes, that's product." So now we have Mexican-American Democrats who sound like John Kerry being slammed down on social media by a Republican White House that sounds like the essays from Cali Lifestyle. We are officially living in the weirdest timeline. But anyway, all in all, according to the Department of Homeland Security, more than 300 illegal immigrants were arrested in the raid. Now, this is all very exciting, headline-getting news, and I'm sure the ghouls who control YouTube's algorithm appreciate it. But there's one aspect that hasn't gotten much coverage. According to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, included among the more than 300 arrests, ICE quote-unquote rescued 14 children during the raid, most of them unaccompanied. Now, Noem calls them children, but the youngest of these kids was reportedly 14, which is the legal working age in both California and most Latin American countries. Of course, that doesn't make what Noem said about rescuing them from potential forced labor, exploitation, and trafficking wrong. After all, children yearn for the mines, not back-breaking underpaid labor in a marijuana field. And of course, there's that. Shouldn't the laborers picking marijuana be at least 21? After all, that's how old you have to be to consume it legally in California. There's also the fact that one of the more than 300 illegal immigrants arrested during the raid was a convicted child predator. That's what I call a hostile working environment. The truth is, conditions in American agriculture, especially for illegal migrants and migrant minors, are kind of horrific. But the system is designed to make abuse hard to detect and keep these people invisible. The way it works is, farms like the one ICE raided don't hire workers directly. Instead, they use third-party hiring agencies. But where these subcontractors get their workers is anyone's guess. Well, actually, we do have a guess. Smugglers and human traffickers. A survey by the National Institutes of Health suggests around 87% of illegal immigrants employ smugglers to get across the border. And who knows, maybe those smugglers also recommend employers as part of the service. But for illegal migrant minors, it's not just about employing a smuggler. The Congressional Research Service suggests 75 to 80% of unaccompanied minors are actually victims of human trafficking. And it gets worse. The Coalition Against Trafficking in Women estimates that 60% of Latin American children who cross the border either alone or with smugglers, also known as coyotes, are being used in CP and drug trafficking. Good Lord. It's no wonder people find these numbers so unbelievable.
Young women who cross the border get
By illegals?
yes, by coyotes and illegals. Why wouldn't you have looked?
Coyotes, goodbye.
That's right, lady. If you really want Epstein's client list, head over to the Acme factory. But it doesn't end with just the coyotes. Contracting agencies themselves are responsible for much of the trafficking. Migrants often have their documents seized, which makes it easy for companies to pay them rock-bottom wages, give them substandard housing, and deny them breaks from work, along with a whole host of other abuses. Of course, rarely do these issues make headlines, since workers fear deportation if they complain. For these reasons, farms almost never disclose the names of those agencies hiring their illegal trafficked laborers. This helps to put up a wall between themselves and the reality of their workforce. The farm that ICE raided on Thursday, Glass House, denies having ever knowingly violated quote-unquote applicable hiring practices, i.e. labor laws, or employing minors. Right! I guess those undocumented, unaccompanied minors were just there to snatch up a bag of Hank's dank, and weren't working for sub-minimum wages in the sweltering California heat. The Trump administration isn't buying it, and Glass House is under federal investigation for child labor violations. By the way, if you read that entire headline, it says the farm belongs to a Newsom donor. Yes, the guy donated to California Governor Gavin Newsom. And yes, he also donated to Republicans who were friendly to liberalizing marijuana laws. He's kind of a single-issue donor. And yes, Fox News didn't mention that. When it comes to labor law complaints, this isn't Glass House's first rodeo. Glass House has received multiple lawsuits from its workers, ranging from refusing to pay wages to lack of lunch breaks to even a lack of places to sit down. Really puts a dent in that whole cool guy image of the marijuana industry. Something about that terrible smoke shop art you see everywhere that's made just so much worse by the fact that you know the product is being picked by what are basically indentured servants at $2 an hour. I'll never look at Rick and Morty rolling tray the same way again. The point is, American industry, agricultural or otherwise, is a complete gray area. We don't know how many workers are being trafficked. We don't know how many people are being exploited. That includes minors. And it often gets overlooked in mainstream media. It's just as Border Czar Tom Homan said.
Look, we're looking for over 300,000 missing children. We've already found 10,000. Have you heard that anywhere? No, the media is simply not covering it.
And when a medieval executioner like Tom Homan is calling you out on child welfare, you know you have a problem. But what do you think? Leave your comments below. And before you go, be sure to check out this other episode of America Uncovered recommended by the algorithm. And we don't make enough from YouTube to keep this show going. Support America Uncovered for just the price of a bag of coffee at our premium website, americauncovered.tv. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thank you for watching America Uncovered.